4-H Lunch and Learn with MSU Extension. Today's topic is Mindful Matters, and our instructors are Ashley Freed and Jill Conan. So Ashley's from Luce County up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and Jill is in Schoolcraft County up in the UP. So I'm super happy to have them both present on Mindful Matters. They did this activity recently at the Ignite conference, so you get to see some of their work in action. But welcome.
All right. So today we're going to talk about some mindfulness activities that youth can do with the iPads. The objectives of our lesson are to share activities for well-being, and we have a link on the slide, and you'll have access to this slide deck after. That takes you to an Apple resource that has a calendar of activities you can do related to mindfulness. We're going to do a project related to the Share Be Happy activity. But in true 4-H fashion, we took an idea and then we kind of smooshed it around to get it to what we needed for a workshop. Brainstorm applications for how you could use this activity in your programs, and what would an extension thing be without a survey. So our mindfulness activity that we're going to share uses Keynote. Some kids will get fancy and want to use Sketchbook, and that's fine. But we were looking for an activity that could be presented in a 45-minute workshop. And Ashley has done this activity in school art class settings. And so we found a way to take what she knew of teaching it to kids at school and take it to a conference. But we had to assume we didn't have a lot of time to get kids up to speed with how to use Apple products. We needed something that was going to be fairly user-friendly, which if you've been using the iPads, you know that Keynote is user-friendly, and it's an excellent gateway into the more robust apps. So we had two different room configurations. So as you're thinking about this, we had one where it was round tables with chairs around each table. And then the next morning we walked in and the room had been changed to a U shape with tables around the outside. Both had their pros and cons to them, but the round tables did allow the youth to communicate with each other more. And in this sort of setting where we're doing technology, we also want this generation to not always be in and interacting with their technology, but also with their peers. And we thought there was a nice blend of that with that setting. It can be difficult in these activities to just let there be time. Ashley and I are very much, let's pack as much into a session as possible personalities. But with these creative ones, you really just need time in the agenda for the activity to breathe and for people to relax and get comfortable with what they're doing. You don't want them to rush through it. It kind of detracts from the mindfulness aspect of it if you are putting the hustle on them to get their activity finished. Some soft music in the background can be helpful because while people are creating, we have found they are quiet, and a really quiet conference room could use a little music sometimes. We have also had kids who have asked to put in an earbud because there's somebody who typically is listening to music in their headspace. So have music available, or be aware that kids may ask if they could put an earbud in to listen to something while they're creating. Create a comfortable space. We taught this session while we were in DC. Once from 8:30 p.m. to 9:15, I think, something late. And then about 12 hours later, so like the first thing out of the gate after breakfast. So we were definitely not interested in wearing our shoes in this space, so we tried to make it very comfortable. That sort of thing. Whatever you can do to make it comfortable for the youth to get nice and relaxed and creative. We did find it is a good session for early or late in the day or a program. We had several comments from kids of like, it was nice to just relax. Like we've learned so much today. It was nice to just have an activity where we could just calm ourselves and um, not have just a fire hose of information for 45 minutes. And then we heard similar things in the morning of this was a great way to warm up. It's hard to pay attention to those deep sessions at 8:30 in the morning. So we found some real success with the timing, even though we were questioning the time slot. When we first received our schedules, we did find the kids were appreciative of those times.
Okay, so there are two slides, this one and the next, full of like step by step what you click on for every step from the beginning of this activity to the very end. So this is written out to teach kids who might not have any Apple experience or have ever used an iPad before. It's detailed enough so anybody can do it. So we'll pull these back up after the activity. So Jill, can you stop sharing and I will start sharing? Thank you. Maybe. No, it doesn't want to share. Hold on. I don't know what I did, Kathy, but now it won't share.
So it's plugged in and
Yeah.
um,
It says my screen is loading. I don't know what it's loading.
because then you would just mirror your screen.
Yeah, it won't mirror now. Like my Zoom is not a mirroring option anymore. It was, and now it's not. Any thoughts?
Um,
This
you want
works
me
in
to-
progress, I promised.
Okay, well, I can share, let me see if I can share mine then.
Okay, we want to allow our device to do this. Here we go.
Get
Okay,
it?
maybe we'll see. It's still thinking. Haha.
Oh, there you go.
Look at that.
We can see now.
Okay. Yes. Perfect. Thank you. So I always like to tell kids we're going to start with our iPads horizontally or side to side, just because Keynote works better in the horizontal formats and you can see more. So we're going to start on our home screen here and we're going to select the Keynote app, which is the blue background with the white lampshade. And that is going to open up Keynote. We're going to come up to our top toolbar and select the blue plus sign. That's going to create a new presentation. And then we want to choose a theme. And we are going to choose a basic white theme. And if at any time I'm going too fast or you need me to repeat, please stop me. So when our basic white presentation is open, we're going to come down to the bottom left corner to the blue square with the blue plus sign. And we're going to add a blank slide. So scroll down until you see blank. So we have a nice clean slide. And now we're going to take our Apple Pencil and tap that onto the screen so we can turn on drawing mode. And with the marker selected, the marker is the second one in, we're going to select our favorite color. And we can change our color by the rainbow color dot at the bottom. That brings up our color grid. And we can select our favorite color. And then with your finger, tap off to the side. And right about in the middle of the screen, we want to write what happiness is. So my happiness is. And then all around the white space, all around our words, we're going to either use our Apple Pencil to draw the things that make us happy, or we are going to come up to the top left corner and select the blue done. That's going to take us out of drawing mode. And then on the top toolbar, we're going to select the square on top of the circle option. And that's our stickers. And then all across the top of our stickers are different sticker subjects. And we can pick there what we love or things that make us happy and add stickers to it. So I like to tell kids you have to have a combination of both. You have to draw, right? Because we are being creative. But you may also use stickers because I can't draw a cat. So I have a cat. My cat makes me happy. I'm going to add my cat. And then I'm going to show one more thing, and then I'm going to be quiet for a little bit while we all create, right? So while our cat is selected, he has his blue little handlebars around him. That means he is selected. We can come up to our toolbar again to the paintbrush. And then, oh, he did not stay there. There we go. And we can come to fill. And then again to the top to color. And we can pick the color we want our cat to be. So my cat is a gray cat. So I'm going to make him a gray cat. And then with my finger, I'm going to tap off to the side. Any questions? So this activity can be done in a lot of different ways. Using these features within Keynote can be done for a lot of different activities, both in the 30 creative activities and the 30 more creative activities, along with the mindfulness activities, which are linked earlier in the slides. There's a lot of Keynote use that you can do to kind of incorporate this into whatever fits your program, right? So this specific activity isn't one of the activities, but I had practiced it using other guided activities, specifically Cassandra's vision board, and then just changed it to fit my programming and mindfulness needs. So we can take the skills that we already know how to do and make them fit what we need them to do, right? That's a benefit of Apple, is it fits our needs. So I'm going to show, here's my happiness board with the different things that make me happy. And I will leave that up for a couple minutes while you create.
when I choose what's with one thing when I was with was when I was once all dreams were I was with once when our hearts was with.
You can keep working. We are going to share the presentation again. Go next slide, Jill. Next slide. Next slide. There we go.
Okay, I lost my control bar there for a second. So we were brainstorming ways that this could be used, and some of the ideas we came up with were you could use it as an icebreaker, and remember you could use the same thing with a different topic. So maybe it's about their project area or life skills that they've learned in 4-H from our life skills wheel. Same concept, multiple different topics you could use as an icebreaker. We had some students in our session who were eager to share their board and wanted to talk about it, and others had put some very personal things on there and were not interested in sharing. So keep that in mind if you use it as if you intend to use it as an icebreaker. If you're doing it with mindfulness, not everybody's going to be interested in sharing what they used. It's a great introduction to Keynote. From here, it's a springboard to a lot of different activities. We found in one of our workshops, I would say the majority of the youth participants were already Apple users, whether phones or iPads, and they spotted Sketchbook on the devices and were like, can we use that? Like, sure, if you already know how, but if you're going to need assistance on how to use it, we're going to need a longer session. So realize that you may need to have some flexibility in the activities if students are already very familiar with Keynote or Paint sort of applications. It was a self-esteem builder for some students, just to like lay out what does make you happy. it's a good reminder for all of us, right? Take time to be thankful for what you have, and then see what it is that makes you tick.
Well,
Parents,
I'm gonna pause you there for a second. So when I teach mindfulness, I teach mindfulness in the sense of creating a mindful toolkit for yourself, right? Because one mindfulness tool might not work in every situation. This is one tool to add to your toolbox. This is one thing that you can have to use. And a way that they can use that is they can then save this picture as an image and put it on their background screen, or keep it in their favorites so it's easy to find. I've had other students print it out and put it next to their bed or on their bathroom mirror, somewhere where they see it every day as a reminder of, oh, I do have all of these good things. I do have all of these things that I love. So ways that it's something that they can use to pull up to remind them of themselves. It's not just an activity for right now and then we're all done with it. It's an activity that can be used over and over.
yeah, and on that train of thought, if they're using devices owned by your program, they won't be able to take that home to show people. So have a plan as you head into it, how you plan to allow the students to retain access to their photo. For the conference session that we did, if they had an iPhone with them, we had them export it as an image, and Ashley has the instructions for that on the in the slide deck. But export it as an image and then airdrop it to their phone. If they did not have an iPhone, I am an iPhone user, so they airdropped it to me and then texted it to themselves from my phone to get it to their other style of device. So do have a plan for how you're going to do that, because like Ashley said, you want them to have retain access to it, unless there's some place where you could print it. But we haven't been in that situation yet where printing's readily available. You could use it as a parent share activity, use it as presentation practice. I did a workshop, not on Keynote, it was on a different theme of products, but the kids spent 2 hours creating really detailed, beautiful pieces of art. Very quiet session, like no talking, because they were all very into their project. But I didn't want them to just come to the session, sit there in silence, and then leave when we're also trying to teach presentation skills. So maybe you're in a space where you could use your Apple TV and a projector to have the kids mirror to the Apple TV and then put their what they've created up on the screen and do some public speaking practice. They can use it as a tool for managing feelings in the ways that Ashley shared, and then as a self-regulation tool. Do you have anything else, Ashley or Kathy, that you wanted to add? Nope. All right.
Yeah,
Here's
keep
the
that
magic
on the
survey
screen for a
code.
little bit. Thank you both, Ashley and Jill. You did awesome. I appreciate you presenting today. We would love your feedback. So if you can just scan that QR code, it's just a couple of questions. Very important. That way we can report back to our peeps. The work
Oh, Angie, I like it.